Hello there, it's Jen, and it's Friday, March 28th, almost the end of March, hard to believe. And we're expecting a big storm here in Kingston. I'm not sure what the weather's like where you are. I'm here today. I'm going to make a card from start to finish, so thank you for joining me. If you're here live, let me know. If you're joining me after, let me know. Let me know where you're coming in from. That'd be great. So what I like to do is I like to start by showing you what I made last week. So last week, I'll just zoom in on this here. I made these really cute cards with the ephemera packs and these lovely note cards that have this texture and everything on them already. So I made those 3 using just ephemera packs, no stamping, and then I threw in an extra one at the very end. I said I hadn't quite put it together, but it's there. And then I have these note cards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide them up. Let's do 2 and 2, and we'll do a draw for each of those. So two peoples get 2 cards. So let's do that. And all I had to do to get in on my draw was you had to comment, like, or share, and then you would automatically be in my draw. So I'm just going to jump over to my little program here. And let's do this. Ad just pop up because it's a free program that I'm using. So, okay, so here we go. Scroll down. So as long as you're Canadian and not a demonstrator, you can win. So here is our first winner, Evelyn. Hello, Evelyn. Nice to see you were watching. Evelyn said watching the replay. Okay, so Evelyn, I'm going to put that on your pile right there, and then let's do another. One. Pick another winner. So thank you, Evelyn, for watching. So let's see. Paulette. Oh, no, Paulette is a demonstrator, so I appreciate you watching, Paulette, but I'm going to pick another winner. I know you'll understand. Okay, so here we go. As long as you're Canadian and not a demonstrator, you can win. Oh, that's funny. Paulette again. One more time. If we get Paulette again, we'd have to get Paulette the card. That's just the way it goes. Oh, and it's me. I forgot to filter myself out. Okay, one more time. Thanks for being patient with me. We'll get started stamping in a second. Let's see, June. That works. Congratulations, June. So I'll get you guys those cards in the mail. So congratulations. I'm just going to put them like this so I don't lose which ones go together. So thank you very much for watching and for commenting, like, or share. And you can do the same thing this week, and then you'll get in the draw to make the card from this week. Not make the card, get the card is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so without further ado, let me jump over to the table here again, and I'm going to say hello to Nicole who's watching, and Vila and Robin. And way to go, Robin says. Oh, that's so sweet how Robin says that all the time. I appreciate that. Okay, so what I'm going to work with today is this. And something new in the online exclusives. It's called Textured Notes. So it is a new stamp set. It's just got some nice botanicals in it, some sort of like baskety weave and something like that, a basket on the bottom, and then some leaves and some nice little greetings. But my favorite part of this bundle is these. Now I did show these, I think, if not last time, the time before. Sorry, my stamps are just falling out because I didn't put them in backwards. Often I'll flip them over so the sticky side is down. Anyways, it's these. These are the rectangles. They're called Textured Notes dies. And every one has a little pattern on it so that when you cut it, you get this beautiful little pattern. So we're going to do that live. And there's also this, which is called a mini corrugated 3D embossing folder. So basically like makes like corrugated paper. So I'm going to show you that too. And I want to show you where this is coming from. So let me just do a quick little share again, and then I promise I'll get right to it. And here we go. So this is the Botanicals Textured Suite. And you can see here there's paper, which I'm going to show you in a second. There's the stamp set, there's the folder, there's the dies, all these rectangles, and there's 2 things of Designer Series paper and a ribbon and some gems. So I'm going to use the gems. I'm going to use everything but the ribbon and one of the papers. And what's nice now, Stampin' Up! Has put this little thing on here where it tells you what's all in the suite. So you can click on the drop down and you can see all the different things which are part of the suite. So if I click on, for example, this one, it will show me all the paper, and you can then get that individually if you wanted to. And if I go back here and I'm going to type in texture, because you can get this as a bundle too if you wanted. Here it is here, Textured Notes. I'm hoping this is following me. Let's just see. Oh yeah, it does look like it's following me. Good, good, good. I'm going to pop back there for a second. So this is just the stamp set and the dies, which is what I have here. And you can get the dies individually. Actually, that card is super cute with all the little rectangles in the background. Very cute. Okay, so I digress. Let me jump back here and jump to this layout so you can see. And I purposely didn't mount the stamps this time because I realized I bring them mounted all the time to the live. And I thought maybe you'd like to actually see me mount a stamp set. So I always go and pick a block that's slightly bigger than the stamp, but not too much bigger. So this one is block E. I'm going to take this big leaf, and they're super simple because they're cling. There's a little cling to them. They'll just pop on the block like that. Now, if you didn't have a big block and you only had, like, say, a D, you could fit this on here by just turning it a little bit. It's off a little bit. I like it bigger because then when I stamp, I can see through the stamp to see what I'm doing. So you can decide what you want. In the end, probably this D block is the one that I use the most, this size. But I like to have them all so I can do whatever I want. And again, if you didn't have this next size down, which is a C, I think, you could just use a D. The reason I like to go smaller if I can, but not, again, too small, so I can still see around that stamp, is because if you have a little teeny tiny stamp on a big block, you tend to maybe rock it a bit more. So you don't want to do that. So there we go. So those are all ready to go. And I'm going to grab one of these dies. And I'm just trying to remember which one I did. It was about that size, I think. Yeah, that looks good. So it's very exciting to see the different patterns that pop up on here. So I'm going to just move all this out of the way. And I'm going to pull in my machine. Here we go. And what I'll do is I'll just pop this up a little bit so you can see a bit better. And all the parts to the machine are here. So when you get it, it tells you, where's my platform? Oh, it's right here. It tells you how to make your sandwich. It's called the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. It tells you exactly how to put things together. That's plate 1. I need plate 2. I need a cutting plate. I need my paper, which is here somewhere. Here we go. White. I just got to have a piece of scrap. It's actually a quarter sheet. And then I'm going to put that on there. Sometimes what I like to do, this is an ad hoc tip here, take a piece of scrap like that, fold it in half, and cut 2 at the same time. It doesn't work for all the dies. And this is going to stick there, so I'm going to just put some tape on it. It doesn't work for all the dies, but it will work for something like this. Like a really intricate die, it might not. And then plate 3 on top, and here we go through. I will check your comments in just a second. So it's a little tougher to go through because I've got 2 layers there, but it will go through. Okay, and I'm just going to put that aside for a minute, and we'll do black. So I've got some basic black here. Now this I have not cut, and the reason is because I want to make sure it's going to fit. And what happens is when you do something like this with the corrugated paper, it's going to shrink it a little bit. So I just left it whole. And for a 3D embossing folder, what you want is plate 1, then the paper and the folder, and plate 4. Now ideally you actually put this through with the seam right here towards the machine. Now this is just going to cut this the right way. It might not, but it doesn't matter. I can make it go either way. And if there is lines or patterns on it, you do want to make sure it's straight. So let me just make sure we got a bit straight there. And Robin says she's got to do more embossing. Oh, embossing is always fun. Get all this out of the way here. Okay. So let me just pull that out, and we're going to go down lower so you can see better. Okay. Get all this out of the way. Okay. So look at that. Very cool. It definitely looks like a piece of cardboard, a black piece of cardboard. I like to store my dies like this with the paper that comes with it, so I know what it is. And then these ones, let me just pop that out so you can see that cool pattern on there. And this second piece, it's not quite as etched, but it's still pretty good. So there we go. So now I got 2 pieces. So I'll put one aside in case I need it, and I'm going to put my die away. Learn that from experience, to put them away. Okay, so I have a piece of this cardstock already cut, so I'll just use that. But I actually think I could have gone this way or this way with that, whatever way. But like I said, it would have shrunk just a teeny tiny bit. So an idea is to either cut it just a little bit bigger or do a big piece like that and then cut it down after. And then of course you can save the bits and pieces. Okie dokes. So we have that. I'm going to pull in a cardstock base. Oh, and the paper. Let me show you this beautiful paper. I'm going to end up losing those, so let me move them aside. So this is one of the packages. You saw there were 2 packages. There's a brown one, which I'll show you in a minute, and then this is a black and white one. This one is called the Botanical Textures. You can see I've already cut into it, so it's got some beautiful patterns. I'll hold that up. And they're both sides are pretty. Hard to know what to use on these ones. So that's that one, and there's this one. And I actually have a couple extra cards to show at the end. I participate in card swaps every month with other demonstrators. And so I've got a couple swaps from a few other people that have used that. Oh, look at that nice wood grain. Have used that paper. So let's see here, which ones am I showing you? This one. So black and white are nice because they go with everything. Did I show you all the patterns? Let's see here. Should be 6 total. Oh, and this one. This is the one I'm actually using today. So pretty. The backs are cool too, but I really like the flowers. Look at this one here. What I did. And I'm actually playing with this card, and I almost used this piece. So it's this piece, but what I did was I colored it. So around all the papers with Lost Lagoon. I might just leave that aside and we'll look how, see how it looks. Okay, so that's beautiful paper. I love this. My favorite for sure, the black and white. But I do like the texture paper. I'll show you that. So it's pretty too. And it has, I haven't used any of this yet. It's got that texture in it. It actually really looks like a piece of woven basket or something. And then on the other side, look at that one. Ooh. That looks like rope. It's very cool. I think these would make good masculine cards. There's the basket image. Does it ever look realistic, eh? Okay, so there's that one. Oh, that's nice too, the linen. Like that. This is my first look at this actually, because I just opened it before we started. Okay, so let's move back in all the stuff. And the stamps. I've got here Smoky Slate, Lost Lagoon, and Basic Memento. And we've got our cut piece, and we've got our black here. So that's the cut piece. So I'm going to do a little stamping on here. Hello to Beth and Vicky. How are you? Just taking a sip of water. Vicky said she just ordered those dies. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to grab a piece of scrap paper because I want to do what's called stamping off a little bit. So Smoky Slate. Oh, and here's my piece of Designer Series paper. You can see, even though it's black and white, there's definitely some gray tones in there. So that's why I thought I'd pull in the Smoky Slate. So I'm going to take this image and I'm going to stamp it here. I'm going to stamp it again without re-inking, but because part of this has ink and part of it doesn't, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp it first on my scrap paper and then stamp it here rather than stamp right after the first time. So you can see it's just a very slight impression there. Very pretty. We'll use the Memento. A little note of appreciation. It's a nice font on that. Hold that up. Okay, I don't need this anymore. Save that for another project. And let's pull in the Lost Lagoon. So I decided I wanted to add some color to this because all the projects that I've seen are all like black and white. I thought, well, I want to add another color to this. And so I love the Lost Lagoon. It's a very kind of elegant, classy color. And you can see it will match there now. I also have this Lost Lagoon cording that I'm going to use. I've got one open here. It's sort of shiny a little bit, and it's got, it's round. It's like a cord. It's silky. It's quite pretty. Okay, easy to tie as well. So let's fold this card base in half. And I will check your comments again in a second. And I'm going to start by putting my seal up here. I've left those open because I think I want to decorate the inside of the card too. Let's put this piece on here. Now, one of my demonstrators in our group asked how thick this embossing folder was. Like, is it going to make this harder to mail or to attach or anything? Make sure the card's going the right way. And it is not actually that thick. Even though it says it's a thick folder, it's thick. Like, you can definitely see the texture on there, but it isn't so thick that it's going to make a big difference. It's very similar to a lot of other cards. From this distance, actually, you can hardly even tell that it's embossed, but when I pull it up close, of course you can. Okay, so I'm going to add the cording around here. So let's do that. Do I care what side, what way that goes? I kind of like that little flower. Let's put that down there. Oh, yeah, let's put that down there. Well, that maybe looks like it's a bright. I don't know. I don't think it makes a big difference. Now, because this is a bit slippery, I'm going to tie a knot. I don't always tie a knot. So tell me what you guys are up to this weekend. I was supposed to go meet up with some girlfriends from high school in Trenton, but the weather is not looking so good. Looks like it's going to be a big ice storm. So we've had to cancel. So I'm sad about that. We'll have to try another time. This gives me more time to get healed. Because sitting for a long time is hard on my knee. And not sitting is hard on my knee. So, you know, if you're joining me for the first time, that's my knee woe story. I just had a knee replacement in January, so it's just taken a little longer to recover than I thought. So how pretty is that so far? Robin likes the square dies. Vila says, I thought the exact same thing about how great they would be for masculine cards. The papers, yeah, for sure. And Cheryl says that DSP is very pretty, isn't it? And I'm going to move this down a little bit. And it's just one of those DSPs that will match so many things. Like, I think this would be good for sympathy cards, but just a very classy kind of thank you card would be nice too. You can change that to a birthday greeting. Let's grab some dimensionals here. And you know what? Well, this is white. I was going to say I could use my black dimensionals, but I think because this is white, we'll stick with white. And you can put as many as you like. I'm going to put lots here so that when you mail it, it doesn't crush it all. I'll grab my Take a Pic tool and just pull all those off. Okay. And I'm just going to slide right on there like that. Okay, we will do the front some more in a second, but I do have another piece of white that I sized appropriately. So this is 5 1/4 by 4, so it fits with a nice mat. So let's stamp the inside. That's one of the nice things about homemade cards is that you can do that. Where did I put that scrap paper? You can have something a little bit different on a homemade card. I'll grab the gray again, just because I don't have to clean it, right? Let's put it on this side this time. I just want to show you, if I stamped it again, you could see it would just be funny. Some of it's dark and some of it's light because I stamped some of it off the edge. So in order to get that look, you've got to have a fresh stamp. So let's do that and then do it again. Let's see how that looks. Very pretty. Okay, I think that's all I'll do. I was going to add the Lost Lagoon, but I don't think I will. I think we'll just leave it like that. And like I said, stay tuned till the end. We'll show you a couple more samples. Oh, I picked up a little crumb. That might have been the cookie I was eating before. Okay, so let me just close these up and get them out of the way, and then we're going to add some gems to this. Okay. So, oops, that just went smaller. There we go. So there it is so far. Pretty. And here's the gems that you can get with that suite. So they're that brown color that'll look great with all those woven papers. There's a vanilla, a black, and a white. So let's see here. The gems I have on my sample are different, which I'll show you in a sec. In fact, last week I was looking for the gems, and I had put them aside in this bin to show later. So I will show them to you today. So let's do one black. It doesn't always have to be the same color. So there's 2 white and a black. Very nice. Actually, I quite like the white on the black. So let me show you my original sample, and then I've got a couple other ones to show you. So here is what I made. So I used here on here, these are, let me show you, they're called the irregular, Riverside Irregular Pearls. So they're kind of I don't know how they'll show up here, but there's sort of like a blue gray, a gray, and then a white pearl. So on here I did the blue gray, sort of trying to pick up the blue here. So it's actually quite pretty, but these matte ones look nice too. And then I really like the inside of the card. Of course, you can do the envelope as well. Mila says she loves the card. She also is very pretty. Beth is going to a ball game on Wednesday. That's exciting. Beth, you going to Toronto? Okay, so here is like another couple done with this thing, stamp set and bundle. So you can see here they've taken some of that paper and they've ripped the edges, very pretty, and they've done the corrugated with white, and they've used some of those dots. They've added just a tiny bit of gold with that pretty gold frayed ribbon. Very, very pretty. Love that card. I don't know if they put anything on the inside. They didn't, but I'd stick a piece of white in there. And here's another one. I'm not sure what die set they used here, but they used the design series paper on the full background, added more of those dots, some black thread, which we have. But this is the cool part about this. First of all, there's the ribbon that goes with that suite, which is nice. And I love a white ribbon because it'll go with everything. Plus you can also color it with blends, right? So these are some arch dies, which I'll be showcasing coming up, I think. But look what they've done. They've made it into a little tag on the front. How cute is that? And they put that little leaf image in there. Oh, I think that's so clever. Very cute. And again, I'd put a piece of white on the inside, but yeah, very nice. So there you go. That's the Botanicals textures. I'll put a link here, and also trying hard to get the blog post up, but at the very least in the YouTube description after this, I will put a description of what everything is too. Nicole says she likes the layout. Oh, speaking of that, that's great actually, Nicole, that you mentioned that, because this layout is one of my most favorite layouts that I use all the time. And yet you totally can't tell. I'm just looking to see if I have a card. Oh, I do. I'm going to grab it. Hold on. Standing up. It's way, way up here. Way up here. When you sign up for my newsletter, you get top 5 card designs. And the stamp sets are actually outdated now because I haven't updated this thing, which is due for an update. But one of the designs is this design, which is a strip down the side and then an image here and a greeting. So this isn't exactly that, but it's very close. So it's got the strip down the side, and I've put the ribbon down here, and the image is not off to the side, it's kind of in the middle, but it's a very similar layout. So there you go. There's a nice layout you can do. Now this image, don't ask me for it because it is retired, but there are lots of beautiful images that would work for this. And the trick, of course, with a card like this is you've got to have a lighter image and a darker greeting. So this one works because I've actually just lowered the flowers a bit. But even if I hadn't have, the black would have gone over the gray nicely. So there you go, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. And every Friday. I appreciate you so much. I'll get those cards in the mail to the winners. Thank you. And Robin says, so pretty with the grays and the blacks. I agree. And I love these, and I love that little patch of gold on that one. But I also really like my added Lost Lagoon. Pink would be another pretty color to add in there. Let's grab a pink. Hold on. Which pink? I think I'm going to go Bubble Bath because it's a bit more muted. You can see me in behind there grabbing. Look at how pretty that pink would be with that black. Very pretty. Just a little hint of it would be nice. Or some pink ribbon or gems. Or I want to go play now. Hopefully if it's snowing or raining all weekend. Not that I hope for that, but if it is, then I'll have more crafting time. Anyways, thanks again for joining me, guys, and I will see you all again next Friday. Have a lovely weekend. Bye-bye now. Take care.